Friends, I want to take a few minutes to offer some information about grief and some words of support in light of the recent death of our beloved friend and coordinating pastor, Tommy Bratton. Grief is what we think and feel following a significant loss. It impacts our physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual well-being. And because Tommy's death was sudden and unexpected, many of us are left struggling with shock and disorientation. Grief is difficult to manage no matter the situation, but when a death is anticipated, we are given some time to begin to make sense of what is ahead of us and begin to prepare ourselves emotionally. I want to take a moment to remind you of things you might be experiencing, all of which are normal reactions to the death of someone you love. Physical responses to death include changes in appetite, like eating too much or not enough, fatigue or low energy, changes in sleep, again, sleeping too much or not enough, headaches, upset stomach, tightness in your chest or throat, joint pain or weakness, heart palpitations, and restlessness. We are more likely to get sick when we're grieving due to a weakened immune system. Emotional responses to death include sadness, anger, tearfulness, or an inability to cry, depression, irritability, fear, loneliness, longing, anxiety, guilt, or regret. Intellectual responses include confusion, difficulty concentrating, decreased attention span, difficulty making decisions, keeping up with your responsibilities, or an inability in finding and creating meaning in our lives. Social responses to death include withdrawal, isolation, avoidance of particular places or things, clinging or dependent behavior. Spiritual responses include asking God, why did this happen? Wondering where God was, and why did God not answer our prayers? So given all the things we could be experiencing, I think it's important to remember that people grieve differently and in different time frames. There's not a right way or a wrong way to grieve. So please offer grace instead of judgment as we move through the days ahead. Here are some important reminders as we work to support each other. Please refrain from saying, I know how you feel. We can't understand someone else's experience unless we ask. So it's better to ask a grieving person if they would like to talk and ask them how they feel or what they are thinking. Don't give advice or try to fix a problem. People need to be accompanied in their grief. If you find yourself telling about your own grief experience instead of listening to the person who is grieving, please stop and find your own trusted friend or therapist to talk about your grief. It is not helpful to use platitudes like, it was God's will. I believe we are more faithful when we don't try to assign our own thoughts and feelings to God. Finally, here are a few things to do to care for yourself as you grieve. Eat a healthy diet, focus on getting enough sleep, exercise. You get bonus points if you go outside. Walking is a great place to start. Journaling, talking with a trusted friend, or attend a support group. Find a therapist or speak with one of our ministers if you need additional support. And finally, pray and share your questions and feelings with God. Friends, remember to be gentle with yourself and with those around you. May the peace of Christ be with all of us as we remember Tommy.